recording.
I had this all set up. I was wondering, like, why my stuff sounds so low compared to everybody else's? But now I understand. You have to be smarter than the equipment. Amen. Welcome back to the podcast. I am Mo.
And I'm Tim.
Man, feels good to be back. It feels amazing. What do you think about our first episode? Let me ask that. You first out of the out of the sit down area, into the stand up area. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, I'm saying, you off the roller coaster. Now you ready to take a ride. You know what I'm saying?
I can't.
Roller coaster up and down. Guys, come on, catch on. Hey, I'm talking to these people right here. This dude in the orange shirt. I'm going to keep saying dude in the orange shirt until somebody say, hey, I got the orange shirt on. And I'm going to bless your ministry. Let me stop. No.
No, they gonna put on a orange shirt.
You know what I'm saying? Don't lie now. As my mom used to say, you can't lie to the spirit.
Don't lie now.
So, first episode. Out the banger. You know what I'm saying? So, how do you feel? Did you watch it? Let me ask that first. You know what I'm saying? That's new.
So you gonna put me out like that? I watched the whole thing too.
Listen, here on the Morning Tiff podcast, we keep it a little gangster. Real. Nah, but
I watched the whole thing actually.
Your thoughts? Did we do good? Did we suck? Trash? Hey, look, I'm into that. if we need to improve.
No, I think we did. No, I enjoyed watching it back because that is something that I typically, I start watching it, but I never finish a whole. Like, as soon as it drops, I can start watching it. Something happens, then something else happens. And I'm like, where was I?
Yeah, so
then I typically don't get a chance to finish. Like, sometimes I get halfway through, and then I never can get that ending out. So,
would you say our podcast is too long?
No, I don't think it's too long. I just think that my attention span is.
Well,
really, it's not my attention span. It's really depending on what I do. But I was very intentional about, hey, I want to make sure that whatever we drop, that I'm going back and I'm watching to see what needs to be improved at the same time.
Yeah.
So I think that also was a big thing for me. I remember, like, you told me it was dropping, and then I found out too. My other issue was, for some odd reason, my notifications for YouTube to tell me when stuff was actually dropping was not on.
But I don't
remember. No. For anybody.
And look, if you blocked us, you blocked us.
No, I was already subscribed. The notification bell and all that was done. But my actual phone to receive YouTube notifications, period, was not coming on. Because I was trying to figure out, I'm like, well, I wasn't receiving those notifications. I wasn't receiving when, like, church went live. And so I went in, and that's what it was.
I wonder how many people are like that, though.
I didn't realize, because I have everything in notification off. Like, because, your phone just constantly, like, goes. And so I was like, oh, wait. And then I just added it on. And luckily, I haven't been, like, overwhelmed with notifications. But when I saw it come up, I was like, yep, that dropped. So let me go in and let me watch it.
So you didn't see it on and then just hit the like button and then just didn't watch it.
Right, I didn't do that.
I wonder. Shame on those people.
You see it, you hit like, and then you keep going.
Yeah, shame
did that.
On the. I won't go name drop. Wow.
I did.
I love you. Slid her out there.
Wow. But I used to do that.
Why though? Like, cause I know for me,
I would watch clips.
So you're better off with clips.
Yeah, because I know, like, I'm always doing something, or I'll start watching it, and then the girls will be like, "Can we listen to the music?" You know how like you ride on YouTube?
First of all, you gotta shut those kids out.
I know, right? So that's what I did. I was like, "Hey, hush, be quiet. Let me finish this." And then I actually I finished it up when I was washing dishes. So just being more intentional about not only like listening to our podcast, but being able to listen to things while I'm doing other things in the house, like if I'm washing dishes or if I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm good for that.
Cause I'm back into washing dishes.
Don't look at me.
Because of the work hour schedule.
Yeah, the work schedule is quite, as I can say, it's demanding.
Yeah.
You know, but it's for a greater purpose down the line.
Of course.
Sooner or later, you know, there won't be no work schedule. Just be like, hey, make sure this is done. Ah, man, those days.
And then we'll have a dishwasher, so then I can just load it.
Yeah, that part.
I would still wash dishes.
Yeah,
that's just me.
Yeah.
Old school. But no, I think our last episode though is what you were asking. I really enjoyed it.
Wow.
I did. I was like, "Ooh, I said that."
Why you didn't? Like, why you didn't like watching? I know some people are like that. They're like, I don't like watching myself.
Talk,
I don't like, hearing myself talk.
Yeah.
But
it's weird to hear yourself play back. You don't feel that way?
No, I'm kind of. I think I'm very comfortable with.
So you've never
vocal.
So you mean you've never ever had a moment where he's like, nah, I really don't want to see myself, or I really don't want to listen to myself.
Yeah, when I thought I was ugly.
Oh, okay.
I don't think that anymore though.
Okay. So he's like, yeah, I'm gonna watch.
I know.
You ain't gotta watch me, but I'm gonna watch myself.
But I do watch myself to make sure I am engaging. I make sure that I have great conversation back and forth. I try to make sure I don't take all of the conversation, or I make sure I'm asking questions in the midst of it. Make sure I'm engaging. Make sure I'm able to.
These are not things I do.
Nah, I'm talking about me. This is my testimony. But what I try to do is make sure, okay, and I believe watching mom do the round table really taught me a lot about, I'm about to say the showbiz, but just the the host and doing all that different other stuff, bringing people in, bringing people out, kind of controlling the whole conversation. That's why a lot of times I'll talk and then I'll dial back and I'll just listen. Then whatever you say something, I'll be able to feed off that to be like, but I'll make sure I'm doing that.
Right.
I don't want to dominate the conversation. It just looks weird.
Right.
Yeah. Only thing you're saying is, yeah.
Yeah. Sure
right.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
And see, just dominate the whole conversation, but you can never
do that last part again? Yeah,
that you trying to jump in, you playing double dutch conversation wise, like So, but you're still going. So I try to make sure I give room for people to come in and come out.
Right.
See, I stop right there, just like boom.
Yeah.
Professional.
And that was something too. You say, he's like, hey, babe, remember you can ask me questions too.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, so that was something that I
yeah,
know,
you're part of the show. Like, you're not a guest.
I'm not a guest. I'm the other half of the show.
It's just, it just looks strange if I'm asking all the questions. Like, so, how was your day? It's pretty good. This is this. Then we move on to something else, and I never get asked how my day. In my head, I'm like, man, wow, I had a good day. Let's move over to the topic.
You're right.
But this platform is about growth, though. Yeah. Everything is about growth. So I thoroughly enjoyed. I know he's gonna ask me. So what did you think about it? Don't worry, I'll do the segue. So
I'm done. I was gonna ask you your thoughts. I wouldn't even finish my whole thought, but you're good though. Go right ahead. You're good now.
Sometimes I crack myself up. Go ahead.
But no, when watching back, I realized I fidget a lot, and whatever that is close by is gonna grab my attention. So yeah, it's kind of, I don't know.
It's a nervous habit.
Yeah. So yeah. Like, this is bothering me. And then I realized too, like, different things. And I know I look up there. Because what y'all don't see is up there is like I can see myself and see what I'm doing.
See, gotta make sure until we get our studios probably like right
to
there.
Be right ahead.
Bro, just stay out of our business. Go ahead.
I'll look in here. But that was one of the things that I did.
They're probably like, why we do look at that? I look at that to make sure everything is still recorded.
Yeah, and I do that too. Make sure it's recorded, make sure my mic's going. But yeah, I really think that the topic, I could tell that it probably wasn't where you thought it was gonna go, but then it went that way anyway.
I mean, I love those type of stuff. I'm into that. I
didn't realize it.
I'm into that.
I'm done. I can't.
I'm into that.
I know, clearly. But I didn't realize, some of the stuff when I go back and I listen to it, I'm like, oh, I said that? Oh, yeah, I did say that. Okay. I was all the way out there.
Yeah, you let your feelings out.
I did.
Yeah. You've been harvesting a lot of...
But it was the truth. But it was observed truths, and then it was really no knock to any one person, any one district, any one building, but it was just something that I noticed when it came down to our youth, and that's why some adults are the way they are, because they didn't have what they needed in those moments as a kid. So as an adult, they still don't have it. So they just willy-nilly do whatever, and their kids do whatever. So that was really I when just in retrospect is, hey, this is where we really need to put our attention.
Yeah. I mean, the song always, the children are the future, and I think we missed that concept.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Like I think we heard it, said it was a good song. Mm-hmm. For a while, the children, we really, I would say, we took them really serious. We took them to a place of protection during that time of children are our future. Thank you, Michael Jackson. God rest his soul. Yeah. But that song within itself is so true. And if we grab that again, if we ever, as any type of community or school district, since the district has, I would say, districts have more imprint into our kids than the parent itself a lot of times. And I believe it's due to the fact that school is the first thing, well, not the first thing, but one of the first consistent things that they are involved in until you go to college. And then next thing you know, you're somehow in, it's not the district, but it's college, but it's a form of a district to me.
Yeah, within the system.
Yeah, the still within a educational type of ordeal.
Right.
I sound a little smart. So, but I do know that the importance of that, and passionate teachers like yourself need more space to not only, I say, speak what truth is, but also be able to do something about it. I'm not really a big talker, but I'm like, what can we do to, change the mentality or the thought pattern of a child?
Because teachers were able to do that when we were I know when I was coming up, our teachers had a big, it was our children are our future.
Yeah.
But let me also help this parent. And that's the only way that I know how to do it. I do what I do because that was the only way the adults that were my teachers back then, that was what they did. I mean, it's nothing to log in on my Facebook and see, a lot of my teachers still thriving.
Well, okay, let's do this, because this is going to turn into a whole different topic. And I don't want to go down this as my bro would say, this rabbit hole.
Right, definitely.
Although we will come back and tackle that.
Yeah.
But I want other teachers to bring on so that we can have some voice, round table type of ordeal. You know what I'm saying? Because we're like, there's just them two talking about. Let's hear the heart of other teachers who are actually in the same space. I would love, if you are a teacher and you do the wax on, wax off program stuff.
Wait, I did the wrong. Supposed to be the hand.
And if you are a teacher and you would like to be on the show and you don't cuss and you know how to, for real, we don't do no cuss on the show. But I would love to hear the dialogue between different educators, whether, and I want to kind of go from all grade levels all the way up to college. Okay. Because I want to hear the different dynamics of where education was and where education is now.
Okay. I can reach out to some people too. Just
all right.
Like, so I think that would be good, because then that addresses one of the things that our entire channel is geared towards, which is how can we help our young people be successful.
And that's key.
Not necessarily wealthy, not necessarily all the tangible things, but how do we help to build them to an area where they're able to succeed in just life living.
Yeah.
So
we're gonna set that up. We don't want to. I want other voices in on it.
I'm down for that.
You know what I'm saying? It might be a slew. I don't know if I'm gonna do it in house or just video call to have different. Because I want.
We'll put it together.
Yeah.
But if you are an educator, new to it, been in it for a long time, any level, just reach out to us. Inboxes, DM us. If you have my number, text me.
If you have mine, don't text me.
You probably don't have it. It's so sad. But let's definitely do that. And I think that way we can kind of get some gears running, put our heads together to be able to do something, not just our household or our immediate area, but just worldwide.
I want to be the person to just sit around and talk about it. Let's be about it. Let's not have this conversation and not put it to action. I'm not a person to really say, man, look at that flat tire, and not put no air in it. So it's not me. You know what I'm saying? But overall, what did you think? What was your thought? What's my thought on the podcast?
Yeah.
That was good. So
That was me first episode.
You know what I'm saying?
Episode 40.
It was cool. What do you want me to say?
46, 47.
So I've been thinking about today's topic practically all day, because somebody asked me how long we've been married, and I told them.
What'd you say?
25 years, I believe.
Okay, see, I was pushing about 20. No, what's our math for real? They want no married or like?
No, married.
That's what, 12?
12.
12 this year, right?
Yeah. 12 wonderful, blissful years. Is that a truth? That's a lie. Am I lying, or is that the truth?
You might be fabricating just a little bit. We've had humps that we've had to overcome. But no, for the most part, no, we haven't had no like.
But I'm saying like you gotta understand too, like, what's up? What you need? What's up? Ask the question.
You stopped the show now.
I didn't stop the show.
You did. You tapping on my feet. What you want? What's wrong? I know, but if you keep stopping us, we're not gonna finish this, and I can't get in there.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm waiting on right now. Okay. All right.
So, 12 blissful years. So is that a lie, or because it's two sides to every story? You good? She about to slap your hair, slap your shoulder off.
I was. No. No, I think that when I look at what probably things that could have happened, I think we've done a lot to overcome. When they say marriages work, like we have for real worked in our marriage.
What you mean?
What you mean? What I mean? Oh, like what I mean. We work for. Like even
Trying to
like
figure
when
out what's
things are
going on
thrown.
here.
No, when things are thrown our way. Um, when the lows went low, the mids were mid, the highs were highs. We were able to ride the ride together.
Okay.
And there was some. I can't speak for you say it's blissful. I mean, it depends on how we're defining blissful
You don't want to hear
as
mine
well.
then. You
Okay,
don't want to hear mine.
all right. Well, how do you define it?
Because you'd be like, dang, I wasn't thinking that.
Okay, so do it. Hit it.
Nah, I'm good. So let's start with you because the women want to hear your side because people see us and a lot of times they think we're a great couple.
Yeah.
It's outside looking in, but it could be hell going on in here.
No, it's really not. Yeah, it really not. Like what you see.
And I know people that like we're out in public and sometimes, and I know we get looked at a lot, and it's people I would say admire us from afar, and I guess today is gonna be the segment of how is marriage.
Okay.
The 80-20 rule.
Okay.
So next one, we're going to bring on a special guest, and hopefully if she is available, you're going to find out how we met.
How did we meet? I was playing.
The whole ordeal.
Somebody asked me that, and then I was trying out because I knew it was going to be part of like
just
this.
wait on.
So I was trying out, then I was like,
just relax. Just relax.
Did y'all go to school together?
Yes, we went to.
But if you know,
Mary Kate and Ashley High School.
You sure it was a 90210?
And we met on the
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
That was next to the Saved by the Bell 90210 address. Nah, but
Corey and Topanga were our classmates.
So, which were fire, honestly.
They were
you know what I'm saying? I was so rooting for them.
Boy meets world.
You know
Look at
what
that.
I'm saying? I ain't no bum, grown man.
That's my bad, man. Come on, we talking about shows here. I'm there. Y'all see this is right.
Girl,
here.
you know Family Matters. Now, catch it, pick it up.
I got it. I picked it up already. Everybody,
okay,
y'all. These were old shows.
You got a whole crowd shows. Right here. What's going on here?
Do you ever ask me, can you get chips? You don't.
All right, take the chips.
You sneak them to your room.
No, I don't.
All right, take the chips.
Bye, y'all.
Get going.
See you later.
Thank you. So
get 8 marshmallows and peace out.
So has it been blissful for you?
What's the definition of blissful?
Oh man, do I gotta use it? Do
I
gotta use another word?
What's the origin?
Have you enjoyed being married?
But I know, because somebody be like, well, she don't know what blissful mean. Mind your business. Because I have to look at the context of things.
Yes.
Oh, full of, marked by, or causing complete happiness.
See, there you go.
Extremely happy, full of joy.
See, I know what blissful is. I don't use words I don't know about all the time.
I know. I was just looking at the definitions. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because Mr. Vocab over here. Mr. Vocabulary.
I'll be reading out here.
Clearly,
you know what I'm saying?
You be learning all the
real
extensive vocab. Now, I'm transparent. In the beginning, I was like, this ain't what I thought marriage should be.
Wow. So not blissful. Boom.
I can't stop doing that. No, but this is why I say that, because I was doing and expecting you to do something that I had grown up watching. I was looking for people in marriage, they fuss all the time. You told me, hey man, I ain't fussing at you. I'm not fussing with you. That's what you said. I ain't here to argue.
I ain't argue.
Right. So my perception of what marriage was and how it looked was completely opposite of what it was supposed to look like.
So let me get straight. So it wasn't what you want because I didn't argue back?
Because I thought that was supposed to be the normal thing. Hush, don't. That's y'all. That's what you call that thing that goes on, that cycle that you play in your mind because you've seen it and it's supposed to be that way. That ain't right. Okay, so don't do that. When you get married and you've seen foolishness, that does not mean that you bring foolishness, and foolishness is supposed to occur in your marriage. Okay, I learned that.
So that was the non-blissful part that I
That's
didn't
why I said
argue with you.
No, not
So
that was the non. That made no, like with confrontation, the way I thought communication was supposed to be, the way I saw things growing up in marriages, right? What I saw, because that was what was in front of me, what during that time, what I saw and had experienced was not, or those perceived notions made it a preconceived notion that, hey, the marriage got to be like this and that's how it works. But I was wrong. So for me, the bliss wasn't there in the very beginning because I really didn't know what I was doing.
I mean, I think we both didn't know what we was doing.
Right. But the hiccups that occurred in that, it was kind of like, I don't know if I'm ready. Like, I don't know if I'm ready for this. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that. But once we started going to the couples enrichment,
I'm getting comfortable now, y'all. Y'all done messed up.
Once we started doing couples enrichment with mom, and when mom was breaking down.
How many years were we in before we had our first couples enrichment? I think it was quite a while. And I think mom was just tired of everybody coming to the office and she had to deal with a lot of stuff.
We was going to the office. Yeah, we was doing before couples enrichment. You're right. We were getting pulled to the office.
You know.
In both offices, at church and at the house office.
Yeah.
But that was when I first learned what bliss and what a marriage looked like. Once I start understanding, like, hey, the foolishness that you saw of a marriage.
So let's tackle this before we move on to the next stage. Cause I want people to have context clues.
Yeah.
Because they'll be like, huh? I don't understand. Cause somebody may think this in their marriage or in their about to get married, in their fiancehood, or in their dating stage. They may think like, man, I think my husband is supposed to be arguing with me too.
But no, that's not.
A lot of times, us as men, well, some men, they don't mind that type of.
Right.
Of course, they don't mind slapping you either.
Right.
But I'm not into that.
Right. But that was what but in my defense, y'all, I knew that he was an aggressive type male. He was never aggressive with me per se, but I knew, like, you rough around the edges. Like, come on, let's be.
People don't believe that though.
Like but what you were giving. Okay, let's do it like this. Before we got married, the energy that you gave out and the energy that I was putting out, that's what I was expecting to roll over.
So was you expecting that baby boy type of ordeal?
I just knew that that's what you was going to bring to the table.
I hate you too.
Well, not in that instance, but from the rough around, that's not funny. The treatment. I'm just not saying the treatment, but the rough around the edges part. And I think that was the dynamic. Like, I knew you could be very kind. I knew you were listening. I knew you were attentive because those were the things that you showed me. But then I also knew that when provoked or taken there's another side. So in some of the things that were going on in the very beginning, because we did not have our own place.
No, right.
And we were doing things that people in the world do. We were shacking up.
And racking.
So that's why I said in that mist between the dynamics of when you first moved here, and between that and then us deciding to get married, we had to learn what the process was. Because that was when the blissful stage started. Once we realized, like, oh, Like this, like we're legit married, and we have to make this work. But the way we make this work is God has to be in the center.
All right, let me ask you this then. You said you grew up around seeing basically arguments in marriages, right?
Yeah.
So how many of those marriages lasted with I would say,
shoot, I'll be honest, some of them still are intact. Very few not intact, but relationships period, that's what I was used to seeing. Like that was a common thing. Like the arguing in a relationship, like I thought that was normal. Like,
I mean, of course you're gonna have disagreements.
No, not disagreements.
Like you talking about, like
I'm talking about hard down, like
That's just too much for me.
Right. And I learned that. But see, I learned that I think the first argument that I was trying to have, you was like, I'm not finna argue with you. And I was like, and you said, and you rolled up and went to sleep. And I was in my feeling like, oh, he ain't gonna, oh, he for real. Okay. But that was the realization. And I can't remember if we were married then or if we were just still living together. We probably weren't even married then, to be honest.
Trying to think.
I don't know. We weren't married then.
Because I do that quite often.
I don't think we were. I'm sad. I'm done. I'm going to sleep. I don't think we probably weren't even married then because we didn't get married until May.
What happens?
So we may have not been married. We may have not for real been married then.
So we were still going through the stages of fighting to get to married.
Right. We were still going through, I think, those phases to get. But what the people have to understand is, well, y'all will hear about that later. Mm-hmm. But just the
spoiler
alert. I know, spoiler alert. But the history that we had. So that's why a lot of times when people say, well, how long were y'all married? Like, yeah, we've been married 12 years, but we started life together.
On the next show, we'll tell you. Okay.
So that's why I said too, and that's why I don't want to like. I recant some of that because the marriage part has been blissful, but it is misconstrued lines because we had a lot going on.
Let's discuss the marriage, actual I do part up until now. Has it been blissful?
Yeah, it has.
You've thoroughly enjoyed yourself.
I have. I've enjoyed myself. I've enjoyed myself in the instance of the things that I have gone through. I wouldn't want to do it with nobody else. Like we've gone through a whole. I mean, and I'll say the things that just about that I've personally gone through all of them years. Calculate all of those. I wouldn't want to divulge that. I wouldn't divulge that to anybody else but you, because I say that because even in our friendship stage, the things that you knew as a friend, once we got married, you did not hold that against me, or you didn't use that against me.
Am I supposed to?
Some people do.
Why?
I don't know why. Hey, those of you that hold, if you friends on somebody and y'all eventually get together because people want to be friends, and some stuff that they divulged, and then y'all got married years over, do y'all still use it? And then if y'all do, why y'all use it against each other?
Because to me, it's a moot point.
I mean, I know that,
but for whoever uses that and you're letting that person use it, it's a moot point. Like if it was anything before me, then okay, it was before me. Only thing that I need to know that is before me is that you have AIDS. An uncurable disease. I need to know this ahead of time.
You're right.
Those are very vital information. That's the very vital information that I need to know.
No, that's
because then I can further make a decision. Is if we're gonna continue down this road, or if I'm just gonna be like, yeah, this has been real. I'm sorry.
No, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? But the other stuff, before me, moot point.
Yeah. Okay. Now for the people that don't know what moot point is, what is a moot point?
Y'all know what a moot point is? It's a cow's opinion. It doesn't matter.
Move.
It's a moot point.
Move. But no, so
Sorry about that.
no, I mean no, but that makes sense. Is there are some things that are relevant, but there are some people that do. I mean, they do that. I've been in relationships and people did that. But that was the one thing that I can say is
that's the insecurity within a man. Then, like, I'm sorry, but like,
but that's what happens.
That's a spineless, weakless type of stuff, though.
But that's
okay. Now you're about to see the other side she's talking about. But I'm gonna go ahead and calm down.
No, yeah,
I digress.
But that's what typically happens. So that's why I said, hey, this is, but with all of that, yes, I would say that our marriage has been, what people really see is what you see. If we upset with each other, you can feel the tension. But we've gotten better to where you can. Like, you can. Or I can feel the tension. But we've gotten better with that because we've learned how to work through those tense moments.
And we've grown.
So in our marriage, we've grown. But the other part of that is we had to grow as we were also becoming parents. Because in our marriage, like right as we got married, we had a baby on the way.
Because of that shacking and racking.
Shacking and racking. So, if you shacking and racking, no.
Because of responsibility.
Right. So that was the thing that we also had to do. And then, too, one of the things I had to learn to overcome is people judging because we shacked, we racked, there was a baby in the hack, and then, So having to, because the stigma behind it, oh, y'all just doing that because y'all got a baby. But it was more than that for us.
That's because they don't know that.
Right.
You know how when people say, what a song say, you don't know my story.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They don't know exactly, like, listen, no spoiler. We'll get to that later down the line.
But that was the thing. So, but when I look at our full 12 years, the things that we endured prior to us getting married, it all makes sense now.
Yeah.
And that's the bond, and that's the cohesiveness that people see today. You see him opening the door, guess what? He always opens the door. He's always opened the door. I get in trouble if I touch the door.
I will break her hand. Let's stop joking.
Oh, too far.
This dude is abusive.
No, I think you popped me before.
Because
you popped me.
Because this is my thing on the door. This is my thing on the door. It's my take on the door. I'm such a gentleman that sometimes I do have a DMX side. It's a DMX gentleman type of ordeal.
Yeah.
Because I don't want my daughters to see anything other than their mother being taken care of. Mm-hmm. Not just money-wise. Anybody can splurge and do this, but can you mentally and make sure that she is and emotionally protected?
Right.
So me open the door is not to saying she can't open the door. We all know she's independent. All that different other stuff that is you can't be independent in a relationship. Mm-hmm. To me, it doesn't add up. If you're independent, you're single.
Right.
But if she's with me, I should be able to do any and everything within my will, within my power for her.
Yeah.
So it's that going that extra mile.
Excuse me.
To me, she's worth the investment of opening that door. That's pennies to open the door. Like, that's pennies.
Yeah. And then it flips though too, because there was that one time that you couldn't let yourself out, and I had to open it up for you, and you were like, "I don't like how this feels.
It feels dumb. It's stupid. It's stupid."
That's that 80-20, because sometimes that may flip depending on what's going on.
But that's what marriage is for me.
Right. Though. But that's what I'm saying. So it flips, and that's why people see what we see. So when you see like us,
people are like, why she had to open the door for him?
Don't worry about it.
Now you in my business now.
We didn't send a limo.
Don't get in.
Don't you get in.
So,
but that's that part that people, I think, see, that they glean, and you do see that bliss. When people say, oh, the honeymoon phase is over, like, we still find time and find comfort and joy in the small things. Candle dates.
For sure.
Walmart trips, Sam's runs together, riding to the fast food place and leaving the kids at the house with their brother. Like, we find those little things because it has now become intentional. So your honeymoon phase with the googly eyes, you can still be googly eyed. You just have to find it in a different way because people change over time.
Women change every 10 years. Men change every... No, women change every 5 years. Men change every 10 years.
So in the changes, we've had to learn how to continue to make each other googly eyed.
Yeah.
And that's really the shift. So what happened in our... But see, we got a late start because we had a baby. So I was learning the parenting role and the co-parenting role.
I don't think I got a late start.
No, I said I got a late start.
Oh, you talking about yourself? I don't know.
No, you didn't.
I think I was all in there. That's
what I'm saying. You were already ready, but for me, I was trying to figure out how do I be a wife. Now I'm a new mama to a new baby I ain't never ever had before, and then on top of that, now I'm joining in because we are a blended family. So now I'm also learning how to do those things. So that was a three role where it was a little bit sketchy, but it still didn't take away the bliss because in all of that, you were still tentative, not tentative, that's not the word I'm looking for, tending to whatever my needs were at that time.
Yeah.
You were attentive, that's it. You were attentive to those needs. You were aware of when something was not right.
But understand why that is, though.
Explain why that is.
You don't know why that is?
Why is that?
We've known each other for a very long time.
Very, very long time. Very, very, very.
And we've known each other longer than most people have actually been married. And the physical part didn't happen until, I would say, maybe 2 or 3 years before.
That wasn't 2 or 3 years, babe.
What was it? Was it a year or two?
It was not even a year.
Well, that goes to show you. The physical, like, we didn't physically meet.
We didn't physically meet until May of 2012.
See, you're good with the numbers. I'm good with the consistency.
I can't.
Nah. But you got to think about how long we've known each other. You've told me some of the most secretive stuff. Yeah, and I've always vowed to protect those, and I've always vowed to always keep you in the forefront as a friend, even as a friend.
Yeah.
I knew what made you tick. I know what made you upset. I know your background. So as a husband now, after all these years, I should and better know how to know when you're upset, know when things are shifting. Because I've been around long enough to say, okay, maybe she's affected by X, Y, Z.
Yeah. And then what you didn't pick up, we had mom, dad, who were teaching us, this is how you know X, Y, and Z. So the things we didn't know, that added to it. And I know we talk about all the time how we had people pouring into us, but I think if we had done this not saved, then it would be different.
Yeah.
It would be I think it would be completely different if we didn't have the right group of people pouring into us and having the right covering to understand and programs such as, couples enrichment and, men and women's ministry. I think if we didn't have that, then that would have possibly shifted the blissful arena for me I would say for me. Now, what are your
so you think as an unbeliever, would we be saved? I mean, would we still be together, you think?
Oh yeah, we would definitely still ride for each other.
I mean, it would be very toxic, but
it'd be toxic, but we would ride for each other.
Definitely.
But
I think
because that was our history though. Like, our history was, even though we weren't physically together, we still, like, it was like, hey, she better not, and you like, well, he better not, like, you want me to, and we went finna try to ride nowhere. Like
Don't get
could
it twisted.
have,
Don't get
but
twisted.
we knew. And so like if we weren't saved, we would still be doing it. I mean, it would be very toxic. We would all the habits and all the things, but I think that's what makes it uh so rewarding for the marriage that we're in, is because we were together in the toxicity, but then now that we're married, we can see both sides of it. Like, this is how it could have been, but look at where we are because we made this decision. Not individually, we made the decision together.
I feel like, what was it toxic?
I think our vices, what we pour into, or what we use to cope, our coping mechanisms. I think that we would have enabled each other to do certain things.
Yeah.
We would have supported each other with no problem with it, because that's what we were used to.
Yeah, the drunk me probably would.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean by that.
I got you.
Now, there would still have been limits, because you got to think, even before we got married, there were limits. Like, nah, we ain't doing this. No, we're not. But you trusted me enough to say, okay, well, we're gonna do this together.
Yeah.
And that's what I think when it comes down to our marriage, is the beauty in it, is that the decisions that we made it together. Like, you trusted me enough to lead you into it, but then we trusted each other to go all the way together.
Because some stuff I was just unfamiliar with.
Right.
And any man in any uncharted territory for us, it's like a whole nother pride land for us. For me, this was a whole nother pride land that I'm like, this gotta be. You smell other male. I'm going with the lion theme right now. So you smell other males in the vicinity, but it's just kind of like, I'm a roll because that's what love makes you do. That's what, not makes you do, but it allows you to do it. It allows you to let down your guard and be like, okay, I'm gonna trust you, and for us to be here. But in the midst of me trusting us to be here, I'm still gonna have my guard up a little.
Right. And I mean, you did, and it was obvious that you did,
You know what I'm saying?
for different reasons.
Yeah.
So I know you, because you was ready to, like, what you mean it went blissful? So what?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
so how do you perceive our marriage? Was it blissful? Was there, like, from May 18th on forward?
all right, get your alls ready. For me, it's always like, before I met you was blissful. I know. Keep it together. I'm not finished. That's just a start.
Gosh, I'm gonna throw my socks at you. Oh my goodness.
So some things are worth the trouble, and some things are worth fighting for. And when it came to you, I was always willing to fight for whatever it took, no matter what. I've always been tunnel vision when it came to you. So blissfulness, it's always been just a part of me being with you, hands down. So anything outside of that, I will be willing to take whatever it is, as long as I have you. I'll be willing to take on the world as long as I have you. You, to me, were the end goal, period. Always. For me. Keep your all. I told you alls. But you have always been the end goal for me. And I always seen it as, okay, once I have you, everything else to me, I always knew once I had you, everything else would line up. I never knew how. I never knew that having you would lead me to be saved, like, for real. Like, I never knew having you would lead me to a lot of different other things like that. I never knew these things, but somehow I knew that if I have her, life is good. Yeah. So for me, it's always been blissful. And to the day I die, I know for a fact it will be blissful. Until death do us part, it would always be blissful for me. as long as you were here, we always go. I mean, even if we weren't together, if we wasn't together, we will always be going through something and then coming out of something to go to something else, and that's part of life.
Right.
But why not have that with somebody that you can actually say, and hands down, when everything is done and over, I know I can trust this person.
Right. And I think that's what we've had since jump is once our special guest comes on, you'll be able to hear the trust effect, but not only the trust, you'll also be able to hear the hesitation on where that lack of trust stems from, and then how we were able to kind of get over that hump of that, and how still today. I mean, I'm we're this is the transparent channel where today, I'm to a point where hey, everything that we've gone through, it's trusting your judgment because you are following God.
Yeah.
And I know that, and it's I ain't say sad. Well, it is kind of sad to say that if we were still of the world, or in the world, doing things the world's way, it would still be the same, because it was knowing that no matter what, that you did have my back. So that was the one thing, that I think had never occurred. And so when you have that, you look at things differently. And that was why the initial meetup, I'll call it the initial meetup, that's why I think that was so important, because that was the missing component.
Yeah.
And so we don't want to really like divulge all of the things, because we want to be able to connect the dots.
This is a movie.
We want y'all to be able to connect the dots, but that time frame before us actually meeting, I think that meetup was that missing puzzle. How we all say, oh, well, what's the missing puzzle piece? Well, I think it was that initial meet.
Yeah.
And without that initial meet, like you said, I don't think things would have turned and shifted the way it did. And that initial meet didn't make things easy either. I think things got complicated before it got better.
I mean, of course. I mean, I always tell people though, like even when some things are just worth fighting for. And I think the more and more complicated it got, we got closer, because we just felt like, okay, and this is not even being saved. This is just us.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Fighting for our relationship.
Yeah.
And just saying like, this is how it's going to be regardless of the situation. Even though, monkey wrenches were thrown in, after the dust settled and after everything is done and over and everybody is in their separate corner, it's us. Period, point blank.
And that's the part that I think people see, and they're like, what is it about y'all? And the different compliments, and we know that, to be honest, is nobody but God, because we couldn't do this on our own, because there were times where when rubber met the road, it was like, hey, if you don't fix this is what I'm gonna do. And then I was like, well, I don't have a choice but to fix it. Like, to me, it wasn't a time, like, I remember just being, I don't remember what happened, but you were like, hey, if you do this again, I'm taking the kids and this is what I'm doing. I'm leaving. And it was kind of like, oh.
But and it wasn't. I want people to think like, oh, they had a point. But it was more so not leaving the marriage, but it's more so, okay, I'm gonna give you some space.
I'm gonna give you space, and then I have to make sure that our kids are safe and mentally healthy from this until you get your point to where you're mentally healthy to be able to pick back up for this thing to.
It's protection in both ways, though.
Yeah, because it was you've always recognized when. The spots that I was in, especially early on, because this was like when we had just started back in this thing, trying to like walk and be for real saved.
But I know you though.
I mean, no, that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying it was the part of. No, I'm letting the audience know.
Audience, I know her.
But this is where I'm saying, like, we were still in those beginning phases of we were married. But this was only like not even 6 months into the marriage. And then, you're dealing with all of the emotional things as, a woman that just had a baby. You don't know if you're doing it right. A lot of questions are flowing. And so even in that moment, though, I can go back and I can look where that was a pivotal time, because I knew that, hey, for the sake of my own mental health, in order for me to do what needs to be done as a wife and as a mom, I first have to be mentally together. And I think that was when I first started, like, really trying to understand and comprehend what it meant to be a mom and a wife at the same time in the same phase. But through that all, you completely supported and did all of those things as you did, prior to us even being married. And that's the thing that is different. And so when questions are thrown our way and people like, well, how would you feel if Mo did this?
Right. They be trying to figure out, like,
and I'm like,
will he go crazy?
I can't answer that, because honestly, we've shared so much and we've went through so much. And no matter what, like, the friendship that we had established prior to getting married and the vulnerability and the transparency we had with each other, that was that thing that I think gets us.
And I think a lot of people, they try to, I would say they try to figure us out.
Yeah.
And I think we're just that kind of, these people can't be happy all the doggone time. And it's, first of all, I'm grown. Let me get that. I'm big grown too. Yeah. So, even with compliments, people like, so what did Mo think of your hair? I'm just like, what are you talking about when I think of her hair?
I changed my hair like you like to change
it's like,
cars.
what are you talking about? Like, I loved the hair the last time, loved the hair before then I loved the hair before then I loved the hair before then. Like, which one we do? Like,
did you if you go back and you go to the Made Over channel on
you'll see all kind of hairstyles.
You look through our whole seasons, you will see all of the different hairstyles. So you would just
and for me, and husbands and wives, y'all can use this. Like, I honestly don't feel like he don't care, but it's not that I don't care. But I don't value I don't put a lot of value in her exterior, because it comes, it goes, it can switch up, it can do whatever, it changes. But what I do ask her, how is your love tank? How are you feeling? How are you emotionally? You seem like you were this place and this place. Your mental was here. That's my main concern. I can care less as far as, what she got on. No, I'm not gonna do that. This is a kid's show, so I'm gonna keep it PG. So
it's not TV 14.
So that's my main concern, and that's one thing I hone in on, because her spiritual well-being, her emotional well-being is the thing that I make sure I'm noticing what's changing. Period, point blank. Yeah. Like, my wife is beautiful in whatever she puts on, regardless of the situation. I have no problem at all.
You're like, you're beautiful. Thank you.
I mean, of course, we're our worst critics. Right. So we automatically, besides me, I know I'm fine. Yeah. And I know at any given point I can get finer.
Be finest.
But my outward appearance is nothing that I'm worried about.
Yeah.
That's why I don't try to wear the flyest clothes. I don't try to wear the flyest shoes, because I remember having on all these things and feeling like trash on the inside. And I hated that feeling of outward, I look like I got it going on, but inward, I'm broken.
Yeah. And I think we lived that for so long, to where in our marriage, we make sure that the other person knows.
Yeah.
Like, that's just, and we have our different ways of showing, our affection, and I be gawking. Y'all like, yeah, that's mine.
All the time.
Like, all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
As if I'm seeing it for the first time. Like, for me, hey,
so,
nothing I'll never get used
to.
But
I think that's the thing with us, is that people really try to figure it out, and people don't understand the dynamic. So it is very hard. And instead of just trying to figure it out, just ask.
Yeah, just walk up and ask.
We
don't
are
stop us as we're
yeah.
paying for stuff unless you're gonna pay for it for us. I'm joking. I'm joking, guys.
Don't pay. Y'all don't pay. We got it. We really got it. But that's the dynamics, and that's what I think binds us together is our stage prior to that time that we had building friendships, and then that is what solidified, and that was how we were able to get to where we are today. It's a whole book of things.
We should do a book.
That would be
couples book.
A couples book. That would be fun. He thinking now. But that's
I don't want to say the title. Somebody's going to steal it.
Don't you say.
And then they're going to chat GPT it. Then they're going.
You're so sad. Chat GPT. Hey, what are they thinking? AI.
Yeah.
But I really think that's what it is, and the genuineness that you have shown all of these years. I don't want to get the time because you're not in the time frame, but all of these years, not just through our 12 years of marriage. That is where I think really solidifies. And then it also shows too our kids, like, hey,
yeah,
you know, our sons specifically, because they hear the stories.
Yeah.
And then we were reminded of the beginning phases from our guests. We were reminded by her. Yes, it's a her. We were reminded by her how we got to this point. But the twists and the turns that it took. So
yeah,
I'm excited.
It was something. Well, I don't want to say we had to fight for it. It was just one of those things we were willing to grow and go through.
Yeah, it was life. It was things that happened. I think that happened in life that one that brought us together, and then things that happened in life that really kept us connected.
Yeah.
Throughout that time, in order for us to get to this point.
And it's our surroundings.
Yeah.
You know, that keep us in that place of, for me, always I always pursue you, regardless of the situation. Right. Always. I keep track shoes on for you. Oh. That's just how it is for me, because you will always, and I tell people, always and forever be the greatest investment. That's why I'm not into really sports like that. I'm not into, I'm into what we are into.
Yeah.
And to me, I think that's where a lot of men miss it, because they will have on their favorite team. Uh-oh, man, gonna get upset about this. Ooh. But look, if I don't send the limo, don't get in. But my thing is, we root so hard for our favorite teams, our favorite, you name whatever it is, but I'm this woman's biggest cheerleader. I'm willing to do whatever it takes for us. You won't hear me yelling and screaming for anything outside of this lady or besides God, because you know that's automatic though. But nothing will ever take that place again. As you see, as we do content, she's with me. When I'm about to do gaming, she'll be with me. So wherever I'm at, she's with me. That's just our relationship. Yeah. We love being around each other. Yeah. I know in some marriages, I can't wait till this person leave.
Right, you've been having some baby, where you going? Wait, hold on, let me get my blanket.
So it's we love each other.
Yeah,
and that's just where we at.
Yeah.
So, in closing, one thing I do want to, can you give the people something to go off of, I guess, encouraging words in their marriage or in their pursuit of marriage, in their relationship, this whole 80-20 thing?
Really, when it comes down to the biggest thing that I've had to learn is it is really a give and take. really not even a give and take. Really, it's a balance, and you have to be comfortable in that balance. But as a woman who desired to be married, what I had to learn is the whole all the women who are independent. Sometimes you do have to take away some of that, because had I not done that, I don't think a lot of what you do would have been appreciated. And what I learned, what I learned to do is dial back. There's a time for me to show, hey, I can handle this, but then there's a time for me to dial back because I don't have to be in the forefront. And typically that's like, okay, this example, getting the groceries in yesterday. Or like when, you said, hey babe, I would have grabbed the order, but I didn't have opportunity. So for me, I go get the order. I bring all of the heavy stuff in. So that was okay. Now I have to exhibit my independence, because you're not able to be there in that moment. But I know if you were there, the balance would be there. You would bring them in, I would put them up. But being able to understand and being okay with the balance and not having to always show that I'm woman, hear me, I got my cape on and I'm superwoman and I can do all the things, because to be honest, I had to learn that the hard way, and you had to help me with that, because I can wear a cape, but every day I don't need to have my cape on, because really it drains you. And so allow the person that you are getting to know or that you may be dating, allow them to show you that balance, and show that if that's the person that you're trying to be with. But then too, don't settle for everything. And the difference is we came in this thing, we weren't unequally yoked. We both came in, not walking this faith walk for real, but we came in together and decided to start it together. So if you are, unequally yoked, meaning, you're a believer and he's not, or vice versa, be mindful of those things, because those dynamics, it can get very real. So be very mindful of that. And then those of us that are married, like us, it doesn't have to end. That balance is needed. Like I said, it came to a point we didn't think it would come to a point. I think it was twice I've had to like help you, open the door for you, get whatever, help nurse you back to health, like those things. That's how marriage should be. It's never one-sided. He's not always carrying the 80%, me the 20%. Sometimes that has to shift and it has to flip. And so women, be okay with that. The one thing I know in our ministry they talk about a lot is, or we talk about a lot, is just wives submitting yourselves to your husband. And that doesn't mean I lose my voice. That doesn't mean he tells me what to do all the time.
I mean, you do as I say. No, stop.
Not as I, no. But it's not that. It's just really understanding that he is the head of our family. He is our protector. And as he's following God, then that's where my trust should lie, and I should be following him.
Key point.
So in those instances, I would definitely say pray, because that was the first thing I remember you ever telling me to do. Make your list, and what are your non-negotiables. If your list super long, you might need to chop it down, and what are the things that really, really matter. And I remember doing a list of 30 plus.
When I do this?
This was before. I was still out in no man's land.
Okay, so this before Mike Todd.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And so when I did that, I remember.
I'm joking, man. All you Mike Todd lovers. He's like, he cool. You know what I'm saying? Jeez. Pull back.
But when I made that list, you told me to make sure I had my top 5 non-negotiables. And when I did that, it all made sense, because everything that was on my top list, you pretty much had it.
Praise God.
And so that's how I knew. Okay, this is for real. Like, let me quit playing around, because this is what it is. And once I did that, it made sense. So sometimes, ladies, we do have to reconfigure our list. And I think our person too that is going to be on
She got your list.
She was talking about recently about a list. Sometimes we got to go in and we got to fix that. So just make sure, singles, make sure your list is not something that is astronomical. Make sure it's non-negotiables. Believers, make your list a little bit, make sure it's tighter, and make sure your number one thing is, y'all's beliefs line up. And that was one of my top things. We weren't like fully sold out, but we both believed. We both knew what prayer was. We both knew the importance of God in our lives, and so that was my number one. Is we both have to have a relationship with God, and so believers, make sure that you're there. If you're dating someone, you don't have to do it all, and you don't have to give up the cookies. Don't be racking and shacking, because things can happen. And so you don't have to do it that way. And if you've already done it that way, guess what? It's still hope for you. Because like I said, we had a baby on the way, and we did the things the correct way. And so it's not like once you do it, you fail, that's it. No, you can always go back and fix what you have done wrong, or what you feel that is not according to the way God would have it to be. So make sure that everything that you're doing is lining up with Bible. If you are dating, make sure you have accountability partners with y'all. Don't be sneaking off somewhere in the dark, slow dancing and all that stuff.
Please.
And then if you're married, remember there's a balance. That 80-20 will shift, and women, we do have to be submissive to our heads. And that's even if, we don't want to. We have to. You have anything you want to say to the men?
No, I'm cool on them dudes.
Cool on dudes? All right.
One thing I would say about, being in a relationship and being married, they go together. Because what you do in your dating with that person, if you will end up doing when you're married too. And the tricky part about that is, just because you did a certain thing in your dating doesn't mean you have to continue to do it when you're married.
Right.
And for me, that's why it'll always be 80-10. Was it 80-20?
It was 80-20.
80-20. I'm going to say 80-10.
80-20, that's 90.
Yeah. So 80-20, right?
Yeah.
So my thing with that is, I don't focus on the 20.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of times we that are in relationships, we make that 20 so much bigger than that 80.
Yeah.
But it's still yet 20% maybe that a human being who will err and who will let you down, that's just too much for me.
But it doesn't really have to be 80-20. It could be 70-30. It could be 50. Because sometimes, hey, babe, I don't feel good, so I may have 30% that I can give. That can you pick up my 70?
Well, the 80-20 rule, the 80-20 rule is, a lot of times women leave because they don't like the 20 that they're getting.
Yeah.
But the 80 that they're getting, they just like, I need more.
Yeah. No, it's a balance.
But it is a balance. And for anybody that you are in love with or you see your life with, I'm talking about doing life. A lot of the things are worth it.
It is.
And especially to walk with somebody who has like-minded with you. And it's so true, babe, what you said about that being unequally yoked. It's just, at first I thought that was just, and that goes in anything. That's in all relationships.
Oh yeah, that's in friendships, anything.
But especially when trying to be together, if you feel like it's tough to be around your wife or be with your significant other, I would say, understand the person or the enemy who hates anything that is good or cohesive. Can't stand it. And I had this conversation with my wife all the time, and kids, close your ears. But one of the most time I would say active. I'm gonna say active is when we wasn't married. But then I had to let her realize the difference between, like, the enemy was like, yeah, because I mean he enjoyed that. But when we got married, which I think we'll do a podcast on that too, it slowed down. But then it made me realize how much the enemy hates when you're doing things the right way. Yeah. He comes against that in every single way. And a lot of times we as married couples, mostly men, we got to see that attack from the on-site. Mama always tells us if it's at the door, then it's probably a little bit too late. But it's not too late to do nothing about it. Right. But it's time to jump in. It's time to be active in whatever you call your marriage. The Bible says, men, you ought to love your wife like Christ loved the church. Christ died for the church. And for my wife, I must be willing to die to the things that will kill our marriage. Has to be a must. Oh, yeah. And a lot of times your order is off. So I would say lock in to really what is your significant other. You say you love your wife. I'm trying to tell you, be there.
Yeah. It's the presence.
Yeah. So I want to thank y'all for joining us for another installment. Do not forget to click the link for our Rise
Coffee
that we are doing, and understand that I'm about to go to sleep even right now, and I'm about to sip on some cocoa. So I will see y'all in the next episode. Anything about the link or anything like that, what to do if you go here and click that.
So go ahead and click the link that is, I'm like, what link? Go ahead and click the link that is in the description and or the bios of our social medias. And then if you would like to get 15% off your order, you will type in the code the made over Insta and the number 15, which is all linked in our description of this video down below. Down there.
So we want to thank y'all for tuning in. I'm Mr. Mo.
And I'm Tiff.
Thank you. We love you.
Yeah.
I was praying for a 10, but I found the one.